Gerry Show. We want to talk today a little bit about this problem of China closing its walls to contaminated waste from around the world, and particularly in Australia. And this has caused quite some consternation. So we thought we'd explore what is the real problem. Gerry, what is the problem with this Chinese action?
Well, I think the Chinese just really got fed up with the idea of taking everyone's crap. They've been aware of it in the UK for a long, long time, that people have been sending more degraded materials all the time. In fact, the Welsh have actually cleaned up their act now. They're doing source separation all over the place to make sure they get really good quality product.
I think what I see, Gerry, what you say is true, but what I see is that this is maybe a symptom of a deeper problem actually in our own country, and actually the Chinese aren't at all the cause of the problem.
No, I think what they're actually presenting us with is a very big opportunity to actually change what we do. As we've said for many, many years, you should be using resources locally, not sending them overseas. They're a valuable product that can create employment and business opportunity.
Well, residents may not actually see the direct implication of what's happening at the moment, but there's been discussion by the major waste contractors that if they can't take their stuff to China, then maybe they have to dump all this stuff, which is recyclable, into landfills, and that means that it's going to cost everybody much more. Well, as Gerry's just said, it does seem to be a bit of a waste, and why can't we actually build local industries using these materials and actually generate stronger economic outcomes?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the issue for the waste companies is that fundamentally they're transport companies anyway. They'll take the stuff anywhere. If you give them a truck and give them enough money, they'll take it wherever you want. But it is really important to actually start looking at and using simple ideas, I think, to use product locally. We don't need to make everything back into glass bottles. If it was glass, you can make bricks, you can make pavers, you can make all sorts of things. You can make wondrous art pieces, but there's no need to send it to overseas or to North Queensland to make it back into a bottle.
No, that's exactly right. I can think of some other examples using cardboard. But look, Gerry, the other partner in this particular set of circumstances is government, and they constantly go on about the importance of policies which will generate new industries, employment for people locally. But I must say, I don't think I've seen any real initiative from government, whether it be the Commonwealth or the state or even councils, that actually says, let's actually look closely at this as an opportunity, and let's put some money in behind actually giving our people a chance to make something of it.
Yeah, I think there's inconsistencies in what the various government regulatory organisations around Australia are doing all the time too. If you look at, in the instance of incineration, the New South Wales EPA quite sensibly are saying that incineration is a considerable health hazard, and then in Western Australia you've got them, get on with it, set fire to everything, so. And you need to, if you've got an EPA regulation that's saying, here's a great heap of money to do more recycling, then how come we can't store materials for any length of time? One thing laughs at another. So your regulations have to actually work in favour of business opportunity and treat stuff as a resource, not as a waste.
Yes, look, that's a really good point. It's like the New South Wales War Strategy. Actually, they've provided, or the New South Wales government has provided more than $800 million over 10 years, and that's fantastic, and some really good stuff has been actually done as a result of that. But on the other hand, we haven't got any leadership in terms of this very important issue that if the recycling industry is not able to get rid of its stuff overseas, we're all left actually with this stuff and not knowing what to do, and no policy nor financial support for actually building local industries for local communities and therefore employment. And that's all knowledge-based stuff, because you've got to know about the materials.
I think also too, intrinsically wrapped right around that whole notion of what you're talking about there is the idea of source separation.
Yes.
You'll remember and I attended just recently an EPA workshop with the organics unit on just generally composting and marketing and things, and the whole ethos of that is the idea of source separation, which is what the Welsh government are finding. They don't have any trouble at all selling their material because it's clean.
Yes.
You put it into a truck and you go pump it all together, and then you put it somewhere and you try and pull it all apart, and what you've got basically is crap.
Yes.
And that's what we've been giving to the Chinese. They don't want that crap anymore. They want high quality product, and they don't want that anyway, because you look at the pollution in China. But having said that, those resources, if they're kept separated, as you say, they're a wonderful business opportunity.
So, people, when you hear in the media that it's a problem of China actually bringing down the walls, don't believe it. The real problem is in our own community and the attitudes towards building local region economies.
Yes, the only place that waste exists, as we've said before, is between your ears. What you need to do is do something about this brand new opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, thanks.